It's time for Playmaker to give his weekly pep talk. Michael, who needs to get it together?
And I'm going to talk basically my love letter to Jerry Jones. Our guy gave me a chance to speak to people. Since we'll wait on the Super Bowl to do the teams, I got a chance to talk to Jerry, and it would go something like this. I would say, hey, Jerry, Ed Bruce with his then wife, Patsy, wrote a song. They released it on his solo album, on Ed's solo album in 1976, and it flew up the chart. And it broke the Billboard Top 20 and landed at number 15. A few years later, the legend. In 1978, Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings recorded a duet of that same song. That duet flew up the chart like a rocket, all the way to number 1, and it stayed there for weeks. That song was titled, Mama, Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys. I know I can't sing. Now, you understand? Now, we know from the placement of that Billboard and the placement on the Billboard chart that many people heard the song. But we also can ascertain from the sheer size of Cowboys Nation and the Dallas Cowboy fan base, they heard the song, but no one listened. They heard the song, but certainly no one followed the instructions of the song because there are so many, many millions that grew up to be Cowboys and love the Dallas Cowboys. It was actually my father, not my mother, that made me, that raised me to love the Cowboys and to love and support the Dallas Cowboys. My dad was a pastor and a roofer, so he worked 7 days a week. But every Sunday afternoon, he would grab that fedora hat, they look just like Tom's hat, and he would start singing a song. He would say, I'm tried and true, and I only bleed silver and blue. When my dad got in tight situations, he would sing, what would Clutch do? He'll make a play that will surprise you. When my dad got behind on bills, and with 17 kids, we got behind a lot, I would hear him sing, Roger the Dodger, Staubach is his name. Captain, come back his game. It was then I realized what my dad was doing. My dad was using America's team for inspiration and motivation to go grab his piece of the American dream. Before my dad left time and went on to eternity, he would say, son, being a man is about making a tough decision and then living, dealing, or enduring the consequences of that decision. Jerry, you have a tough decision to make. With this decision, you must understand that it has been 30 long years. That drought is the longest drought of any NFC team. That means 1/3 of Cowboys Nation has never lived the glory of a championship story. We need a coach. We need a coach that can bring us togetherness, discipline, and a collective will on the field and give us great hope to Cowboys Nation off the field. The Bible says, in all things have ye hope. Hope says that there's something in front of me better than the last 30 years behind me. We need hope. And the only way you can spell hope for us is D-E-I-O-N. 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 Deion Sanders will bring us that hope. Jerry, make the right decision, because we cannot endure the wrong for another 30 damn years. Yeah, I like it. Roger the Dodger, Staubach's his name. My dad used to sing all those songs, man. Hey.
How does the song go?
Roger the Dodger, Staubach's his name. Captain, come back his game. Every time we were behind on bills, he would sing that. And we were behind all the time.
Every time we behind on bills, he would sing that.
Yeah. It's true. I realized that he was just okay. He's watching the games to try to get through this thing we call life. Grabbing motivation. We all do it. Yes. That's why we love the game.
I like it. So you done had the phone bill in your name a couple times. Gas bill in your name. I'm just saying.
That's just funny.
Michael.
He's right.
Hey, no. Poor people don't know about that. Only broke people know about that.
My mom said, right. They used to call me Michael Irvin in Dallas all the time because we played in Irving. And they said, Irving. And my mom said to me one time, she said, you know, your last name really was Irvin. But when your dad got in trouble with the police, he dropped the G to try to hide. So I don't know how you hit the nail on the head, but yeah. But we need Deion. That is hope right there. It's the only way we can.
You don't think you ever had a gas bill in your name?
I don't know. I can't.
13 years old.
Like 6 years old.
Get it turned back on. Get the lights turned back on. Get the lights turned back on.
Don't be over there laughing, Colleen.
That's all that matters.
Colleen over there laughing.
They don't know that, Key. That's ghetto stuff, Key. Right. That's the ghetto stuff.
Oh, Lord. Social Security number just toe up by the time you turn 18.
15 years old with bad credit.
Another legendary coach weighed in on the Cowboys situation. Nick Saban said this week on the Pivot podcast that he wants Deion Sanders to get the Cowboys' head coaching job. He also said that his time in Miami was aided in a lot of ways because of Jason Taylor. It's a big part of his...
What?
Yeah. He said he leaned on Jason a lot when he was coaching the Dolphins for leadership. Will Nick Saban's support of Deion's...
Should have leaned on him a little bit more then.
Jerry's decision, Michael?
I hope so, and I love the fact that Coach Saban comes out and gives love to Deion. I know it's just the utmost respect that Deion has for Coach Saban, and when you hear guys like that with such reputation, especially when it comes to football matters and the way he handled himself on the football field and what he accomplished, he's above reproach. So when he says a guy is ready, yeah, you got to consider that. Mm-hmm. You got to say, oh, Nick Saban's saying that, because now if Jerry makes a bold move and hire him, Jerry has what Nick Saban said he should do. And I love that Aaron Glenn went over there, because now Aaron Glenn, who's another defensive back, got a head coaching job. You know that. So all of these things are happening around and setting up for Jerry to just make the decision. That's why I put it in the get it together and make the decision.
See, I don't know how much it weighs on Jerry, what Nick is saying, because Jerry going to do what Jerry going to do. Mm-hmm. And the way to do this is hire, stop playing. Just go on and just hire the man. I know you wanted to wait till you know, Super Bowl week that Monday.
I don't want it. I don't want it to wait. I believe.
Or you believe that
Jerry does. I think Jerry cares about the headlines, and he's juicing the ongoing coaching search.
That's fine.
The longer he doesn't have the hire, the longer we talk about who he might hire.
I understand.
And I don't know that Jerry. I think Jerry likes this part of the headline because this is a new wrinkle. To your point, Nick Saban is the greatest college football coach of all time, and he also did time in the NFL as well. He's very well regarded, and his opinion goes a long way. And if he says that Coach Prime should get the job, who are any of us to say that he is not ready to take that step if Nick Saban is saying
Prime
it?
Is more
but
ready.
Jerry is going to do that, what Jerry wants to do regardless.
Yeah.
I think he's going to hire him because any other decision at this point is going to be outrageous.
Look.
Yeah, they've interviewed Kellen Moore, Robert Saleh, Leslie Frazier, and Brian Schottenheimer.
Shotty! Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Listen, I love Saban, and I respect his influence that he has on the football and sports world. But this guy right here, Michael Irvin, he got more impact on Jerry's decision than Nick Saban. This guy right here,
he should.
Keyshawn Johnson,
he should
has more impact on Jerry's decision.
I could sway a little bit.
That's why I took the chance when John gave it to me.
You know what I'm saying?
Write a little love letter before I see him this week. You know, let him know when I'm coming in what we're coming to talk about.
He's getting a wide variety of support.
Of endorsements.
Of course. It's also always good.
But what we can't do and what we can't subject ourselves to is moving the goalposts, right? Mm-hmm. It's always qualifications. Not a coordinator. He's never coached the NFL, never done these. Coordinators that are in the NFL never coached as head coaches in the NFL.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
did I say when you said that? I'm going to be perfectly clear. I will move the goalposts wherever I want, whenever I really feel like it. And if you don't like it, call your mama. I do not care. I do not care at all. It has been done way too many times in everyone's faces. I don't care. I'll put the goalpost here, and then I'm going to move it over here. And if I don't like it there, I'm going to move it here. Everyone else can do what they want to do.
Yeah, but they can't move it for Prime not to get the job because he's never coached in the pros.
Exactly.
Okay, but he is the pros. So there you go. We're watching coordinators get jobs. He's a head coach. of a program that was turned around from 1-11 as the head coach, not as a coordinator on a team that went to the playoffs, but as a head coach that ran an entire
Good point, Key.
football department.
Right.
So you can just slide him right in this position in Dallas, and he could build his staff, and you good. Jerry good. So there's no need to, you sitting around toying around with Kellen Moore and Brian Schottenheimer. That's cool. That's cool.
No, it's not.
No, it's cool to toy around with it, if that's what you want to do. But it ain't cool to hire them as the head coach.
Michael's like, don't speak this on me, please.
No, I'm just saying.
Speak it up.
I'm just saying it's cool to toy with it, but that's the guy.
Right.
The guy is Deion. There's there's nothing to even think about.
Like when Chicago, they wanted to talk to everybody, but they knew who they were going to hire.
You knew you were
They
talking.
knew who they were going to hire.
I think it's appropriate to do interviews, though.
Correct.
Yeah, that's cool. You can do all the interviews you want to do. He has the right to do it. But in the end decision, if you don't hire Deion Sanders, then I'm going to, I'm not a Cowboy.
Because it
ain't my Cowboys.
Yeah, and it goes back to what we were talking about, you know, what you talked about, Joy, days ago. Like, whoever takes this job, this is going to hang around your neck. Them 30 years I just talked about, this is hanging around your neck. That's why we need somebody that understands it and can embrace it. And say, hey, this is what it is, and the buck stops here, like he did at Jackson, like he did at Colorado. We need someone that understands that. Run towards challenges and not away from them. And
you could have had Deion Sanders and you got Brian Schottenheimer. How would you feel?
Look at that look right there.
Yeah. Right. And I would feel like the rest of Cowboys Nation will feel.
You could have had Deion Sanders
this particular hire. Because also keep in mind, if it's not Deion, you had a really good coach walk out the door. So it's not like you're coming from a failure of a coach, a failure in that he didn't reach the ultimate goal. But Mike McCarthy is a really good coach. So there's a possibility, if it's not Deion, that you're taking a dramatic step down in the coaching position based off of what he has been able to do over his time with the Dallas Cowboys. But Michael said this a few weeks ago. This is a very important hire for the Dallas Cowboys. It's a very critical time for America's team. He's bringing up the Kansas City Chiefs, and yes, they're kind of in this villain space because they keep winning and all that. But they're the team that a lot of kids are going to remember watching being great. They're the team that they're going to fall in love with these stars. When they grow up in 10 years, they're not going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. There is a bit of a slippage here with the branding and everything that makes
Boy, y'all finally got on board. I've been running this car around here talking. I've been on this for a while. That's what I'm talking about. We're losing something here. We need something to compete with all of that. And like you're talking about, not just on the football field. I'm talking about off football field. They're banging their heads on the goalpost trying to become America's team. Kansas City.
Well, I mean, it's been 30 years. There are
30 years.
Real adults who have not seen the Dallas Cowboys be great.
Right. Life expectancy 100 years old. That means a third of Cowboys Nation has never. That's why I told it, just like I told it. And y'all were singing before. They don't even know what I do when I do this. But they were up here singing. You were singing. You guys were singing on the death. I said, oh, they're singing. That means God was anointing the moment. They were singing before they knew I was going to try to sing.
The Cowboys have lost the minds and the hearts of the American people.
We ain't going to go that far, but we're going to stop before we lose.
Listen, one thing about Americans, we like winning.
We're going to go before we lose.
By any means necessary.
That's why Deion got to come in here like Moses and bring us across the
Yeah, they turned it into a mummy.
Yeah, training camp was empty.
Yeah.
You can go out to training camp and stand anywhere.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.